That's all, muchachos. We're going to rank and go over best value Immortal. We've got all the players here. We're going to go through all the icons, all the heroes, rank them in terms of who's really meta, who's S+ tier, and also best value. I think people always forget about the value of the card. That's also something that we've got to take into account. Now we start off with Terron. I'm also going to show you the stats as well, because I want to show you exactly what's going on now. This Terron card, S+ tier. I think he is formidable. I wish he was 5-star. With a finesse shot playstyle, one of the best. Rapid, one of the best. First touch, still very good if you know how to use it. Strike is advanced for ++. Can play as a winger, but no inside forward for the right-hand side. Just playing as a left wing. The old school Henry has everything you want. What does he not have? I think with a Hunter chemistry style, he has everything. You could even make the argument, why would you play Hunter? You could probably just go with a Hawk, and that is probably very much justifiable. Look, maybe I would want a low-driven base playstyle, maybe a power shot, and maybe a quick step playstyle plus is what I'd love to have. But look, let's not be picky here. I think he has all the ball control ones. He just probably needs, realistically speaking, if he had tiki-taka, power shot, and low-driven, he would be insane with the 5-star skill moves. But who are we to be a bit too greedy? I think it's very much evident he is going in S+ tier without a shadow of a doubt. He goes there. Then we go over. Well, it's going to be completely stink, to be honest. Then we go over to Steven Gerard. Now, we've seen this one over here. This was the ultimate succession icon. You can see, for example, that was his price, and he has steadily pretty much gone down. He was pretty much dead in the first place. I don't know what anyone even rated him. But now we have a new one. Where's it gone? 1 second. Had it just disappeared from my screen. But we have this one, yes, Steven Gerard. You can see the price actually not too bad. It's stabilized quite a bit. CDM, 89 sprint speed, 87 defensive awareness. I think he's a very good price. Very good shooting, very good passing. Jumping could be better, but I still think he's a very good card. Now, in terms of playstyles, only holding plus could be better. CDM playmaker ++. Power shot, incisive, intercept. Exactly what you'd want. If he had block and maybe anticipate would be better. I think, honestly, he's a very good card. Incisive and intercept with power shot. Maybe you could argue on the cusp of S+. We're going to put him in S tier for now. I would like to see a better sprint speed, better defensive awareness to take him to S+. 87 defensive awareness, 89 sprint speed. That is the only thing that's realistically holding him back. Then we're going to go to Bombastor, another new card, the hero card, quick step, whipped, and anticipate. 4-star. Look, I'm going to tell you something, right? She's good value for money. I think for left back, she has everything that you want. I think 5'4" is being on the short side, but I think she has everything. Don't forget, she's going to get you full chemistry as well, being a hero. Should she be taller? Probably. She should probably be taller. You can see her price is just falling. Maybe it could be even lower. I think she's a good card. She's got, as a left back, incisive through balls for the left-hand side, and she can cross the ball. Look, I don't think you can put it anywhere below S tier. I mean, she has everything that you would want. Yes, her height might not be that good, and I understand why she might even go to A tier. Definitely not B tier. I don't think anyone here is going to go in B tier, or we should see, actually. I think she probably goes in S tier if you're asking me. Personally speaking, I don't think she gets to go. There's 2 versions of her card. Now, there's the other one. Look, I'm going to be honest. This one is a bit press proven. I'm giving away 20% discount for my FC School course. We only give discounts out maybe once or twice a year, so you only have 24 hours from the time this video comes out to do it. Go on patreon.com/NeilGuides, click on any of my tiers and type in the code April. That is April for a discount. Remember, you only have 24 hours, so you got to do it by today. If you want to get that 20% off for your first month on my Patreon, don't forget that gives you access to the full Patreon, the full course, the FC School Series, and of course, the most requested Division 10 to Elite Division Series. Links down below in the description. Remember, 24 hours. Don't forget the code April. If I had to choose one, if I say one of them has to go, I think just on playstyles alone, that one goes A tier. I think, look, because she has quick step, anticipate, and the whipped cross, it really does make a big difference. You probably think it doesn't, but it's coming to the point now where realistically playstyles are trumping everything. She's a free card, that Bombastor one. I think she's a seasonal objective, whatever she is. Then we go to Jabar. Now, interesting card. Finesse shot, trickster, low driven playstyle plus, poacher plus plus, and advance forward, and target forward. So he's only missing a plus plus on. You know what? I think he's a very decent card. I would like to have a 5-star week for 50k, absolute steal. I think for price to performance, he is a very good card. Of course, he's not S plus tier. I think he's just S tier. Maybe you can make the argument he's kind of in between. So I might put him here just for now at A tier. But you know what? His passing could be better. Maybe you can make the argument at this stage of the year there should be no compromises, but I think he's got the play styles. He's kind of got everything what you'd want. The benefit is he's a hero. Otherwise, had he not being a hero, that would have been a bit problematic. My back is killing me, honestly. Unbelievable. Back is killing me. But yeah, I mean, that was the only thing that I think is letting him down. Honestly, that is the only thing that's letting him down. But yeah, it's everything that you'd want, really. Quick step, he's got the rapid. Yeah, he could have something, but he's got finesse shot on low driven. It's hard. I think he is maybe S tier. I think. Oh no, we'll come back to it. We will come back to it. Now we go over to the main man, Nazario R9, extinct already. Do we need to look? Of course, we'll have a look, but do we need to have a look? Finesse shot, playstyle plus, rapid, low driven. You could probably even go with a basic chemistry style here, to be honest, to get his agility up and to get his passing up. I would say go with basic. Stats wise, Look, why are we even talking about this? Above Honorary, yes. 5-star, 5-star, pushes him there. Low driven playstyle. There's no comparison. Let's not even talk about it. Leave him there. Ask questions. And our time. Now, Nedved, my favorite card inside the game. I used to love Nedved. You will know if I know. They've made an absolute calamity giving him 81 finishing. Although Henry should have won the Ballon d'Or the year that he won it. Absolutely criminal. He never won the Ballon d'Or in that respect. But, okay, Nedved, I think he's a very good card. One of my favorites. Finishing instead. Too slow, 88 sprint speed, nothing special. Decent play styles, good for passing as a cam. They didn't do him justice. He probably goes down, the first card we put down to A tier. I think he's going down to A tier. I think he's B tier, sorry. He's just too slow. At this stage of the game, he's too slow. It's really annoying. There's a lot of cards that really don't get the credit they deserve, and he's definitely one of those cards. Almost, they're taking the mick, to be honest. Now, with Angora, the card that unfortunately everyone seems to pack, she's got far reach, but she's too short. 5'9", and that, in my eyes, means that although her stats look good on paper, and the fact she's an icon, she cannot be any higher than B tier. So she's going down into B tier. Both versions, I don't care, to be honest. Personally speaking, she's too short. It's too much. You need at least 6'2", not 5'9". Like, please, come on, guys. Like, I know people saying, "Oh, she's a good keeper." In some respect, I've seen some nonsense out there, but let's not sugarcoat it. She is pretty much garbage. I think that is probably the best way of putting it. Anyway, let's just move on. So we are going to Blanc. So where is Blanc? He's over here. Let's have a quick look. Centre back, sprint speed is good. I think maybe you want to go towards the 90s. I think he's a good card. Has everything you'd want. Missing the block playstyle and intercept. He's got aerial plus. Look, give him a jockey playstyle plus. Give him this as base. I think he should deserve and warrant intercept. I think he's a good card. He's not S plus tier. He's S tier. He's not going to go S plus tier. There can be the argument. Let's not even go there. I was going to say A tier. But look, with this card here, Less of a card, very good price to performance, ping pass, first touch. I think he's a decent card. You know, if we compare both of these cards, actually, if we compare both, you know what? It's got much better passing. Why couldn't they just not give this card better passing? You know, this card can play center mid as well. And Cam, the old school Blanc. Man, you know what? I think he's a decent card. He's got a bit of everything in the center mid. You know what? Maybe you could argue this card is rated higher than this card, you know? This card can defend very well, and I understand that. You know what? It's a tough one. We're probably going to put them together. I think this Blanc is probably a better value for money. If you're asking me personally speaking, I think we got to put them together, but you know what? We'll come back to them. We go to Zaneti, one of the most underrated players. 92 sprint speed, good defense awareness, jockey playstyle plus relentless, quick step, has everything you want defensively. Has quick step, has, you know, he's a very good card. I don't think you have to say much about that. 5'10", one of the better right backs inside the game. Good passing, curve could be better, could have better shooting. Bale can play CDM, and I think that is an absolute steal. And you know what? Just for the fact he can play CDM with a jockey playstyle plus, as crazy as it sounds, I would probably even consider him in the lower tier S tier. But you know, I'm gonna get people are gonna screenshot and not understand the reasons why, so we will let that go. Then we have the other Zaneti as well. This one doesn't really have the same level. You could argue a bit better shooting here from this one, the center mid version, but nothing marginally crazy. You can see also this one has the very good defense, or the main ones anyway, and the ping pass intercept. I think he is also, I'll be honest, center mid with that passing, I think he's also S tier. I think he's a very good card. 41k is a bit of a steal there. I think he probably goes in S tier. We'll probably come back to it. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Zambrotta. Now, Zambrotta, he's very good. Good sprint speed is what you'd want. He can play right back, fullback, wing back, fullback. He can play attacker, wing back. He's got all the ones. People are going to be mainly playing fullback defend or wing back. I think he has everything. I think he could potentially here 5-star weak foot. Yep. You know, there's the argument. You know, let's say we compare them. Let's just throw something out there, right? Let's say Carvajal, right? We throw something out there, okay? Now the sprint speed is the same. Okay, shooting, who cares? Who cares? Long shots probably a bit more important for a fullback. You can play left back and a right hand side. Passing is good. Agility balance could be better. That's not the end of the world. His defending is very good. You know what? S+ there. I think just for the fact he can play both those positions, left back and right back, and the roles he has. And then sprint speed is the most important thing. He's got the physical presence and he's got the height. He's got a bit of everything. I think he gets in every single team. You got to find, is my defender better than him in that respect? I think he's, you know what, he's worth it. We go to Mr. Zola. I think he's a very good card as well. I think he is S+. 5-star weak foot. Could have low driven, should have low driven, but from a passing perspective, as a striker and a cam, incisive, ping, tiki-taka, could have rapid, but I think just stats alone with those play styles. Look, dead ball's a bit shit, let's be realistic, pardon my French, but very good passing. Yes, his physicality lets us down. His stamina is not the best, but I still think from that ability, with that high composure, he's a very good card. Can play as a striker and a cam. And because he has that and the quick step, I'm thinking he goes in S+ tier. You know, when S+ tier, it'll probably get into most teams, I would say. Then we move over to the lesser Zola, which you could argue is a very good price to performance. Bit slower, bit less finishing, but I think for 40k is an absolute steal. You see reason why I put the other one there, because he had the passing ability. If the other Zola never had the passing ability, he'll probably be S tier. And maybe the argument is Zola is the bottom of S+ tier. But this one is also very good. If you look in the con, which is a bit stupid, but if you have a look over here, contrasting, this one doesn't have the low driven, but this one does. But I think price to performance, he is a very good card. You know, the argument is really a bit silly because, you know, we could have given him, you know, a poacher plus plus as well. I think he's a very good card. I think he goes in S tier. We got to move this along. He goes to S tier. I think he's a good card. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. I just think that personally speaking, sometimes you just don't give these cards justice. Like, honestly, sometimes I see this and I'm thinking, what a load of garbage. Anyway, we're not too far away from the end now. Only got about 5 cards left. So we go with Gareth Bale. What a card this is. Dead ball again. Bit garbage. Low driven playstyle plus. He's got quick step, poacher and advance forward. 99 sprint speed, 93 finishing. I think here you don't even need to go. I kind of a bit old school guy that stat chemistry styles go above stats, even though they don't. But sometimes I do feel that way. So statistically speaking, it's not actual factual, but that's maybe the only thing that I do that's not really proven. But he has everything you'd want. 5-star skill move should have 5-star weak foot. All the shooting play styles, rapid, quick step, aerial. I think for an all-round strike, he's very good. And look at this. The guy can play defend, okay? It would be cool if you could play as left back. They should have given him a left back position on this card. That would have been a cool one. Now, what would you do? I would probably say, you know what? I'd probably go with a finisher here. Get his agility and balance up. Yeah, attack positioning up. Even marksman is actually not a bad idea, but I'd probably go with finisher. I think he has to go S plus tier. I would like to see a 5-star weak foot, but I think he goes S plus tier just behind the camera over there. He gets into S plus tier. If you're watching this video at this stage and I know this Bale's got the left back, but if you're watching this video at this stage and you're watching it before 3 p.m., don't forget you can sign up to my Patreon series. Use the code April and you'll get 20% off. Then we have this Gareth Bale, the left back version. Very good, 97 sprint speed, insane defensive awareness. I think price to performance, he is insane. I said the other card would be amazing at left back. This guy might be one of the best left backs in the game. This is the Gareth Bale in Tottenham that we had, what he did in Milan, San Siro. 4-star, 6-1, exactly what you'd want. Got low driven, whipped cross, got jockey playstyle plus, intercept. He's got aerial, relentless, quick step, and rapid. And for that reason, with that sprint speed and those stats, you could argue an anchor would very much suffice here. I'm thinking with those stats, honestly, I'm thinking S plus tier. I think because of the extreme high pace that he has, the most positions he can play, the shooting stats, the crossing stats, and the physicality he does have, given the fact he's an icon with the jockey playstyle plus, which you know that I rate very highly, it's very hard for me to put him anywhere else. And for that sole reason, the shocking from most people, I'm going to put him in S plus tier just behind the camera. There's that use case for, I think, for his position, he is S plus tier. And I'm not going to hit anything above that. I don't care if anyone screenshots that and sends it. I think he is very much there. But let's move. We got Beckenbauer. By the way, they did it. What kind of nonsense card was this? You know, when they release his card, I know they got to do it for all the FCs. 81 sprint speed. Come on, you're taking a bloody mick there, aren't you? But we go and we stop with the 96. What a card it is. The thing is, too slow. Too slow. 86 sprint speed. 88. Okay, fine. For this kind of price, forget it. I agree. He's got all the defensive play styles. Slide attack, and he's got very good passing. And he's got a jockey playstyle plus. That's what carries him into S tier. Very good passing, good physicality. The sprint speed is just too slow. I'm sorry. He has to go here in S tier. We're going to put him on the side of S tier. You know, they could have done a better job. You know, as a CDM, center mid, okay, he's decent. CDM also, I think you're going to need a shadow on him. You could even make the argument a hunter would be fine if you're going to be using him as a center mid. Look, 94 sprint speed. You all know what I'm talking about. He can get caught out. There's a second Beckenbauer now as we come to the final conclusion. 262k, 83 sprint speed. Had this been any time of the year, he would be rated very much higher. I would say S tier. But I think at this stage of the game, he has to go into A tier, maybe even falls to B tier, as shocking as it sounds. The sprint speed alone is just too slow for a centre back at this stage of the game. I'm sorry. I know he's got amazing defensive stats. 83 sprint speed. Nah, I'm not having it. Yes, he's got the jockey playstyle, and that's what probably only carries him to A tier. Had he not have done that, he would be pretty much done. We go to the final three now. We are concluding into the final three. We end up going with Ginola. Now, Ginola, I think, is one of my favorite cards. I've always really liked him. I've always liked this card using my main account. I think he was overpriced at the beginning. 5 mil, I think it was worth 5 mil. He's got everything, but at this stage of the game, this card was garbage. Not garbage, but this was a bit the lesser card. I think at this stage, he was just a bit too slow, so we had to get someone that was quicker, someone that was faster, and we ended up getting this one. So I can play cam, striker, left wing, and left mid, inside forward. I think he's a very good card. 5-star, 5-star, let's not forget. I would like to see a low driven. I would like to see a finesse. I would like to see something like that. But the incisive pass is very valuable. I would like to see rapid as well. Let's see what people have been saying here. Only one shooting playstyle is crazy. I think you are very much true. I think, yeah, look, even a Trivela, if you're a Trivela merchant, you will know. I don't really talk about Trivela too much. I don't use it. But if you're a Trivela spam and abuser, you will probably have to be looking for this anyway. So I don't need to mention it for the masses who don't use the Trivela. Come on. At least give him the low driven. At least give him the low driven. At least a base finesse. Come on. He's not worth the money, put it that way. But I think he's a very good card. Can play cam, good defensive stats. I think, like, realistically, a hunter, maybe a hawk is what you're probably going to be leaning towards. You know me, I'm on a 99 sprint speed always. But a hawk would be probably the more wiser option, I suppose you could say. Very good passing, very good shooting, very good sprint speed and acceleration. Sprint speed could be a bit higher ideally, and very good physicality, and you know he's got a bit of everything. Is he S plus tier? I think he's in the bottom of S plus tier. I think he just gets in just because his stats alone. And look, I agree he doesn't got the shooting play styles, but if you don't use a low driven, you don't use finesses for God knows what reason, I think he'll go for S plus. I think for most of us, he'll go for S tier. And maybe the argument is because of those terrible play styles, but then his stats warrant him higher. I think he's got to go in between is where I'd put him. Honestly, I'm going to put him in between. Then we go to the final cards here. We've only got a few left here. So Mostovoy, another very decent card when the game came out. I think he's a very good price to performance. I had a quick look at him. Sprint speed should be higher. 90 finishing. Very good shooting. Could be better though. Good passing. Physicality is okay. And agility and balance. Look, for a starting card with a low-driven playstyle, technical playstyle plus for tiki-taka, I think he's actually a very good price performance card. Even this card, when the game came, not this card, but there was another card from last year. When the game came out, he was actually a pretty decent card if you like to abuse a technical playstyle plus. When lesser dribbling was a disaster, you will know what I'm talking about. I think price to performance, you could go much higher, but I think realistically speaking, I think top of A tier. Maybe you could argue, there's some arguments there. Had the sprint speed been a bit better, I'd put him somewhere else, but I would say, honestly, because the playstyles warranted, I would say top of A tier. And that is pretty much it. So we're looking at B tier. I think Angra, forget it, it's too short. The height alone cost a Nedved, my favorite card inside the game. You would know if you're an old school viewer, especially you were there when I used to stream every single, when I used to do both, I used to do 3 weekend leagues sometimes. Nedved was on all my accounts that are base Nedved. Beckenbauer is too slow. Jockey playstyle carries him. Jabar is actually a pretty decent card. Maybe you could argue probably even go higher. I think if I was to do this, I'd probably say Jabar probably a bit higher, and then I'd put Mostovoy second. Physicality lets him down. Jabar is actually a decent card. Is Jabar better? It's a tough one. If I had to weigh the options up, he's got the finesse shot and he's got the low driven though, and he's got the other shooting stats. Oh, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one, and I think his passing could be better. You know what? I'm gonna put him ahead. And then I put Bombastor there. I think Bombastor is a decent card. Maybe you could argue Bombastor goes here as a left back. She's a decent card. Like this. The only thing that really puts... No. I think his play styles want him to be higher. That would be our A tier concluded. Now, this is where things get interesting. So, I think Gerard is a very good card. I would say this Bombastor is a very, very good card. So what we're going to do is we're going to put Ginola here. Bombastor here. I think Zola then goes over here. No, maybe not. Maybe not. I think we put this Zaneti over there. Maybe Zaneti goes higher. I think Zaneti goes like this. Blanc. Ooh, tough one. Yeah, no, it's a tough one. I think this Zola card, look, I know the reasons why you might be against it, and I completely hear you on that factor. I rate him highly because he's an icon, and he's got quick step and finesse shot, and he's got low driven, and he's got very good shooting and sprint speed naturally, and that is the reason why I rate him higher. Blanc, oh, it's going to be a sticky one, I think. Is this Blanc better? Oh no, this is the one where everyone's going to hate me for it. But I think the thing is with this Blanc, as I mentioned, I think just because how cheap this Blanc is, it's so hard to say no to him. You know, we got to put that aside. So we'll put Blanc, we'll put Gerard then we'll put the other Blanc here. No. We'll put Zaneti. So what we've done is, look, we put Zaneti there. And then what we've done is put Bombastor, Zola, Gerard. And then we have here Beckenbauer just in the corner over there. Remember Beckenbauer, we have just him in the corner over there. And then as we go towards the top now, where things get interesting. Okay, let's start backwards. I think this Bale card, as I said, is S+ tier. I've explained to you my reasons. Zola is very good, but I think Bale is better than Zola. Zambrotta can go down there. The question is, who's better, Zambrotta or Bale? I think just purely, you know what, let's do a quick comparison. But you know what, I think I'm gonna go with Bale. I think I would go with Bale here now. I'm an Arsenal fan. So I gotta tell you, but I'm also a very big fan of Zambrotta. The reason why Bale goes here is, look, Bale's a bit taller. Bale's got a bit better sprint speed, so you can get away with another chemistry style with an anchor. He can shoot as well. Bale's got a bit better passing, not that much in it really. And okay, Zambrotta's got long ball for the L1 triangles over the top. That's understandable. He's got rapid. Now, let me tell you something with rapid. I think with rapid, the playstyle itself, it depends. Are you going to run? I always put quick step above rapid, in my opinion. And the question is, are you going to run with Bale? I think you are. And that is why we're going to consider that. Press proven, important. Don't get me wrong. Jockey playstyle really puts that above. The defending is not that much in it. Who cares about heading accuracy? Slide attacking is better from Zambrotta. And physicality wise, Zambrotta wins. But I think just because of the playstyles and he's got regular quick step, I am going to honestly, for just that information, Bale is going to go in front. So, of course, we got Grand Bale over here. Does Bale... So, let's go back here. So, just behind the camera. So, we got Zola. I think Zola goes here. And then we put that Bale second. And then we put Zambrotta. Is Zola better than Bale? I would say no overall. But there's an argument of personal preference here. Now, this is the big one. R9 is a bit of a sticky one compared to Henri, but we now gotta do some comparison. Who actually reigns at the top here? Now, God, is it a crime for me to not put Ginola? The question I'm asking myself, is it not a, you know what, let's just put Ginola. You know what, I think I'm overthinking this too much. Let me just go back. Actually, I'm gonna change Ginola. Yeah, I know he's not got the shooting play styles, but let's be realistic. He's 5-star, 5-star. Let people have those unique use cases move him differently. I think he's got to go S+ tier. The question is now, who goes up here? I mean, this is where things get... Okay, before I rank this up, I want you to let me know, who would you put there? Would you put Henry? Who would you put in number 1? Now, I think it's probably going to be R9 for the fact that he's 5-star, 5-star. And I think because Henry and Bale, they don't have that, I think I have to take that into consideration. I have to really take that into consideration. I think what we'll do is we'll compare them now. So put Henry and we'll put Bale in. Now, Ronaldo can only play striker. Not good. Henry can only play striker and left wing, where Bale can play multiple positions, okay? Then we go over the play styles. So finesse shot play style, Ronaldo has, and low driven and rapid. 3 of the best play styles in the game. I think just for the fact he's 5-star, 5-star, he's ranked higher. Bale has a low driven, which a lot of people will like more, and that's why I can see why Bale goes above Henry, but he's got the 4-star weak foot, which is not good. They're very comparable. Bale's a bit shorter. It depends how you look at that. So Bale's got the better sprint speed and acceleration. Okay. Then for the finishing, Bale loses out a little bit. Long shots, penalties. Bale's got the power shot, and who cares about a dead ball? Absolute waste of time. And he loses the finesse shot. From the passing perspective, R9 is terrible, but you're buying him to score. Bale and Henry are not too far away, but Henry, of course, takes that. I think the agility and balance is all important. Bale is slightly better. But of course, R9 wins that. And then Henry has all the play styles for the dribbling ones, which is actually very important, especially if you like to use rapid and first touch. So now, in my opinion, just Bale, the positioning, I think Henry is just above. Bale, from a defensive standpoint, is better, but we're not going to include that because who cares when it's going to be a striker? We're not debating a left mid or a right mid or a center mid, for example. Physicality, that's where Henry probably shines, and Bale has quick step play style plus. So I think Henry as a grand total just edges Bale, but I would say it would be user dependent. You know, if you like to use a low driven or you wanted a player that's a bit more versatile, because don't forget, with Bale having the high sprint speed, you could basically get away. You could, if you want to go ahead and use a marksman on him, you could do. So that is the argument of having Bale there that I completely understand. Having Bale there. I think it's this one over here. No, it's not that one. It's this one over here. So, you know, you can put a marksman on him and you could really buff those stats up even more. So, you know, you could technically go with sniper, which I think even a basic, to be honest, because you get the shot power, you get the passing upgrade as well, and then you get the agility, you get a bit better defending, and you get the strength as well. So, and then arguably the Deadeye for the short passing. You know, you could honestly go either way. I think on this occasion, just for this occasion, I think Thierry Henry has to go. So you look, on will be the best, followed by Terron, followed by Bale, and then Zola. Some of you may even rank, as crazy as it sounds, Zola high, and I understand that because it depends on agility and balance. I don't really like clunky players. Then we have this Bale, I think is the best left back. We're going to put Ginola just in front of Zambrotta. I'm going to put Zambrotta there. I think that Bale card as a left back is exceptional. Then we go to the second tier, S tier. We got Zaneti at the front. I think maybe you can argument of S+ tier. There is very much the argument there. I think had he had better shooting, you could very much go there. And that is why maybe you could make the argument that Zaneti is better than Zambrotta. And I'm probably going to make that switch, actually. I'm probably going to make the switch. I'm going to move Zaneti into S+ tier. I think just for the fact he can play CDM, We're going to move them there. I'm going to put Bombastor here. She's one of the best left backs that you can get. Gerard is very good. Should have better defensive awareness. And maybe you could argue between these two who really goes. Gerard's got the passing and then incisive, which saves him. Then we put Blanc there, and then we put that Blanc, and then Beckenbauer goes just over here, just behind the screen over there. A tier, we have Jabar, Mustavoy, and Bombastor. And Beckenbauer, only thing that saves him here is the Jockey Playstyle Plus. And then for B tier, we got Nedved and Gerard, both cards, and of course the lesser card over there. So that will be the final list if I was to rank all the evolutions. Recorded 6 videos in a row. I've lost my train of thought. But all the heroes for the Immortal heroes and icons in FC 25. I think there's so many different players. There's a range of different players as well. And I think they all very much have equal weighting. I think they're all very good cards. Probably running below S tier. Beckenbauer's only one, which is a bit iffy, but I understand why you may choose him. But I think, yes, that would be my final list. I move my camera so you can screenshot it, whatever you need to. Like so. Thank you very much for watching. Take it easy. And of course, as usual, I'll catch you next time. Don't forget, if you want to get better at FC, come to my Patreon series, patreon.com/NailGuides. Link is down below in the description. By the time this video is going live, I think by today at 6 p.m. is the latest, or 7 p.m., something like that is the latest time you can use it. Use code April to get 20% off. I think it's 25% off now. We decided to make it 25% off. Link is down below in the description for my Patreon. Enter the discount code April. Check out to get 25% off. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. And of course, catch you next time for the tactics video later on in the day.